Thank you very much, Freak. Indeed, standing by with Bengi after a heroic performance to bring it home in Game 5. Applause is in order. Your team was on the brink of elimination and you were subbed back in Game 4. Where did you find the strength? How did you do it? Bring your team back and hold them in the race for the Summoners Cup.
뱅기 선수 정말 탈락의 위기에서 이제 다시 한번 경기에 투입돼서 어떠한 힘으로 어떻게 다시 팀을 경기를 끌어올려서 이렇게 승리를 하게 되었나요?
저는 뭐 그렇게 막 좀 그래도 제가 맏형이니까 그래도 제가 가장 좀 상태가 괜찮았어요. 그래서 좀 그냥 화이팅 정도만 했는데 다행히도 이긴 것 같습니다.
As the eldest player on the team, and after Game 3, I was in the best state. All the other players, they're kind of shaky, so I was cheering them up, and we had some fightings, and I think, through that, we were able to win.
Can you tell me about the end of the game when Blank stormed on stage, Coma stormed on stage, everyone stormed on stage, and you guys just seemed to be incredibly relieved that you guys closed it out. What was said in those moments?
이제 경기를 승리 직후에 이제 막 그 코치님이 막 뛰어오르고 블랭 선수도 이제 무대 위를 뛰어오르고 같이 이렇게 얼싸안고 기뻐했을 때 이제 그 경기 끝났을 때 어떤 얘기를 서로 오갔는지 말씀해 주세요.
경기 끝났을 때는 잘했다고밖에 한 게 뭐 딱히 없는 것 같아요. 그래도 뭐 제가 저한테 기회를 주신 코치님한테 항상 감사하게 생각하고 있습니다.
So after the game was over, all we said is we played well, we did good, and I just want to say thanks to Cole, our coach, for giving me a chance to play once more.
One chance to play once more and make it into the final. Now you're heading to Staples Center where you made history with SKT and Faker by your side back in Season 3. What does it mean for you to go back there, get another chance to play, and possibly bring back one more World Championship?
이제 마지막 결승전 무대인 LA 스테이플 센터로 가서 당시에 첫 우승을 거머쥐었던 페이커 선수와 함께 이제 가게 되었는데 이제 다시 한번 소환사컵을 들어올릴 수 있고 이제 우승할 수 있는 기회를 잡은 거에 대해서 소감을 말씀해 주세요.
일단 좀 가장 어려운 상대라고 생각했던 락스를 잡고 결승전을 가니까 아무래도 저희가 우승할 가능성이 한층 더 높아진 것 같아서 일단 기쁘네요.
I'm just really glad. I think that by beating the hardest opponent, ROX, our chance to win the Summers Cup is definitely higher. So it just feels really, really good.
Of course it does. Well, thank you very much. Congratulations, Bengi and SKT. Make it to the World Championship final. Dash, take it away.
Thank you very much, Shox. We're going to hear from Faker himself in just a moment. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at this final game here. And that man on your screen, Bengi, I mean, 3-0 in the series for himself here. Definitely a huge boon to the team in coming back in that 5th game and really taking it. I mean,
this is some anime stuff here with Bengi. He was benched for so long, comes back, and then I can't. I'm done. Actually, I'm actually done here.
Kobe's done. He's out.
But he proved you right in the end.
He came in there like Superman with the bear there kicking out Peanut to almost get that for the
jumping out
team.
himself as well. But no, Bengi played so well, and I'm so impressed the fact that Bengi actually looked so good on things like Nidalee as well. His Lee Sin performance in the end here was great. We saw one in the quarterfinal that wasn't good enough, and now he stepped it up big time on the big stage when the team really needs him.
And you know, people were asking, including analysts on this desk, why is Bengi here? Why is he still in the squad? Clearly, Blank is your first choice jungler. He has been all year. You have this guy around for the experience, for the big matches, for the times when you need him. Comes in, plays Nidalee for the first time, facing elimination from Worlds. He put it on himself. You know, he was the one that made that draft because otherwise they would have had to hand over the Nidalee. And he did his job well.
And ultimately, ROX Tigers, they went all in on that, you know, poke and pick composition, going with both Karma and the Zyra. Doesn't work out for them, but mostly due to that Baron call at 22 minutes. Very unfortunate for them that it didn't go in their favor. A 4-for-0 to SKT from that. And you got to wonder, is this jitters? I mean, it's definitely a confident move.
Yeah, I mean, this is where 2 seconds faster and ROX Tiger gets the Baron and gets out as well. But SKT are able to get there just in time. Bengi goes in, actually kicks out Blank. Obviously, sorry, not Blank, but Peanut, he dies.
He kicked Blank
out.
He
He did that too, you know? And then he actually jumps out himself. He's like, You're not gonna get it. I'm not gonna get it either.
He didn't have
but we're gonna
smite.
kill you.
He didn't have smite, so it was like he can't auto attack it down.
Yeah, he can. Jay still did it. He just autoed it down and killed it.
Peanut.
And if you were a monster, you could actually summarize the last 4 games of these series in Baron.
And smite the Baron after. Clearly, Bengi just outsmarting them where Blank didn't.
The attempt was there. They definitely tried to do that, as we saw. They all kind of backed off the Baron, all for naught, though. Something else I want to talk about, Smeb finally getting the Jace, and although he did build that CS lead in the top lane, Duke finding his way back into the game, picking up some kills, and really being a rock for the team, right, on that Poppy.
That has kind of been the story of the Poppy players here at Worlds. You take your beating in the late phase and you just wait your turn because that was really the matchup of the 2 different styles of the team compositions that we saw. We had Poke versus Engage. SKT weathered the storm, and then they were able to take over.
Yeah, and also difference just in the 2 top laners and how the teams are using them. You know, we get carries for Smeb, and they like to gank for him as well when needed. Then they don't really go and gank for Duke very often. They put him on scaling champions. He got the Echo earlier, now he got the Poppy. It's kind of like, we are okay with you losing 20, 30 CS, trying to defend your tower, and then later on you become a split pusher. Like we saw in this game, he was just sitting in a silent 24/7. So Duke is actually really performing well, especially in the later games of this series. After game 2, where it was poor, game 3, 4, and 5, he was actually doing really well.
And look, this is the end of the road for the ROX Tigers. You know, they're done for this tournament, and definitely their narrative went around the world. It wasn't a Korean narrative anymore. People loved the fact that 2 years ago, these discarded players, these overlooked players, banded together to try and win Worlds, to try and win the LCK. They got a lot of offers last year. They stood around because they hadn't got that victory. They finally won LCK. They're stopped here, and it's that narrative that's so easy to understand. And, you know, it feels like a movie, honestly. This series, you're like, okay, they're finally going to do it. They're going to finally overcome at the 4th possible attempt. But it's not a movie. It's real competition, and they came up short for a 4th time.
It's not a movie. This is live, I promise. All right, well, we're going to have some more time to talk about this series in just a moment, but now we're going to send it back over to Shox and talk to the mid laner looking to secure his 3rd championship title.
Thank you very much, Dash. Indeed, joined by Faker. Congratulations, Faker. We were just talking to your jungler, Bengi, about being subbed in the 4th game, and he said he had a clear mind so he could change the momentum of the team. How much do you think that actually contributed to you guys turning the series around?
페이커 선수 우선 4강 진출을 축하드리고요. 방금 이전 인터뷰에서 이제 팀 동료인 뱅기 선수와 인터뷰했을 때 이제 4경기 들어섰을 때 가장 아무래도 상태가 좋았고 멘탈 좋은 상태에서 팀원들 부추겨서 이길 수 있었다라고 얘기를 했었는데 뱅기 선수가 들어옴으로써 어떠한 원동력을 어떠한 이런 승리의 기운을 가져왔는지 말씀해 주세요.
우선 뱅기 형이 좀 게임이 잘 풀릴 때 굉장히 좀 활기찬 모습이 보이는데 그런 모습이 좀 팀원들한테 많이 도움이 되는 것 같아요. 그리고 오늘 실제로 플레이도 너무 잘했기 때문에 좀 고마운 마음도 있는 것 같아요.
I want to say thanks to Bengi first, and whenever Bengi, like when he plays and if you're having a good game, he plays in a very cheerful mode, and that definitely brightened up the team. So I think that brought us a lot of energy and momentum to play the series once more.
Well, you also had a fantastic series. I want to bring it to your personal performance. There was a lot of talk about Smeb being the best player in the world before this. How do you reflect on your performance today, and do you think you've deserved back your spot on that throne?
이제 이번 대회 들어서기 전에 이제 페이커 선수보다 스맵 선수가 지금 가장 잘한 선수라고 이제 많이들 꼽았는데 이제 그 자리를 다시 탈환하고 싶다고 인터뷰에서 언급하셨잖아요. 근데 이제 오늘 자신의 경기를 어떻게 평가하시고 그리고 오늘 경기를 통해서 다시 한번 1위 자리를 탈환한 것 같다 생각하시는지 말씀해 주세요.
오늘 개인적으로 너무 잘했다고 생각을 해서 솔직히 이제 제가 최고가 아닌가 생각을 합니다.
I think I played really, really well today, so I definitely think that I'm the best player now.
Right, there we go. If there was ever any doubt, finally, when I asked Bengi about the chances to win the World Championship for the 3rd time, going back to Staples Center, he said, well, we beat ROX and it was a hard opponent, so our chances are higher. But do you dare to say anything more confident about your chances of taking home that cup for the 3rd time?
이제 뱅기 선수가 인터뷰에서 이제 가장 어려운 상대인 락스타이거 팀 꺾음으로써 3회 우승에 더욱더 그 가능성이 높아졌다고 말씀하셨는데 페이커 선수는 혹시 그럼 더욱더 자신감 있는 멘트를 해줄 수 있나요? 3회 우승에 대한 이제 진짜 우승할 자신 있다는 거에 대해서.
오늘 경기에서 솔직히 좀 저는 결승전 같은 느낌도 많이 들었고 또 오늘 지면 거의 모든 거를 다 잃는 그런 느낌일 것 같아서 열심히 했는데 이번에 이겼기 때문에 저희가 좀 다들 자신감에 많이 차 있을 것 같고 또 결승전도 이번 세미파이널처럼 어려운 경기가 될 것 같지만 그래도 한 단계를 넘겨서 좀 다들 기뻐하는 것 같아요.
So through the semifinals, I think as a team, we overcame a big obstacle, and definitely by beating ROX, I think our team also gained confidence altogether. So I think that we have a good chance to win Worlds. Yeah.
All right, there we go. Well, thank you very much, Faker Kansamida, and thank you, Homan, as well. As always, SKT on road to Staples Center, fighting for that Summoners Cup. Dash, take it away.
Thank you again, Shox. Hearing from Faker there, he says he played very well tonight. He thinks he's re-cemented himself as the best player in the world. What are our thoughts on his performance?
I mean, some of the gank dodges that he did, the shockwave that he was hitting, there were a lot of highlights.
The man can play League of Legends. Gotta give him that
I
one.
think it's safe to say the man can play League of Legends.
He's back as #1 until God Given shows up, and then we'll see.
All right. Oh, everyone, somebody clip that, hold him to it. All right, but we do have to recognize the carry that, well, needs some recognition here. And it's player of the series that's going to actually be going to Bengi, because this is the player that came in the clutch. 3-0 in this series. We heard it from Faker himself that his attitude is so important to turning this series around for this team.
It's a guy that just did not play a lot in 2016. The fact that you can count on him to come in spots like this is the reason he retains his spot. Probably also a smart voice to also have behind the scenes helping out the coaches.
He said he was the oldest member, obviously, on the team. That means a lot in career, you know, come in, add some leadership to the team. And I just think it's amazing to see a player that was kind of out of the roster, wasn't considered good enough.
Yes.
Practice all the way back in. It's like a Rocky movie all over again. He's just going crazy before the big fight, and then he actually shows up on the stage and he ends up knocking out the ROX Tigers. Good.
Exactly that. All right. Nobody else has anything to say about Bengi.
Done.
Well done, guys.
The only thing that could have made it better is if he came in the last game with his SKT skin on Lee's
that would have been even better.
Because he did use his boxing one, boxing analogy, but...
We get it.
All right, but now, before we move on, I want to jump back to something you talked about earlier, Papa Smithy, the end of the road for ROX Tigers, because this was, again, we go all the way back to the beginning of Worlds. This was the team that was the tournament favorite, and unfortunately for them, they have to go up against SKT on this side of the bracket, and that's arguably the toughest road to the finals. It ends here tonight, but we have to recognize all that they achieved this year.
Part of the reason why this was the best series that we have ever had was because of the ROX Tigers, the fight that they put up, bringing out the MF support, drawing bans on it, forcing the bans, Prey stepping up huge, because we're all talking about Smeb and Pina. You know, that's going to be the way that Tigers are going to take their victories. But Prey was magnificent.
Definitely, and the Misfortune was awesome.
I mean, that's the simple storyline, right? They didn't make it to the finals this time, but it was a stronger team than 2015 without the same weaknesses. You know, didn't have Hojin the early game being a bit of a minefield for them. They had a real chance to make it. They were ahead for the first time in a series against SK Telecom on the 4th try, in a best of 5, of course. But they couldn't get over the line. That's, again, the difference between the movies and, unfortunately, the real competition.
Exactly, and the reigning champs move on. So with that match complete, let's update the tournament bracket. SK Telecom has defeated ROX Tigers and will compete in Los Angeles next week for the World Championship. Of course, tune in tomorrow at 3 Pacific when Samsung Galaxy takes on H2K with a shot at the Summoners Cup on the line. And gentlemen, this is another big matchup here. Both of these teams having swept their quarterfinals, so coming in 3-0s. They've both shown extremely dominant games. What are your preliminary thoughts on this matchup?
Well, it's such a different setup.
Best player in the world.
Yeah. It's such a different setup because it's like H2K and Samsung are the two teams. If you look at the top 4 teams, you're kind of like, oh, these are underneath ROX and SKT. ROX and SKT were like that super hyped up potential final happen right now. We get 5 games, insanely high level. H2K Samsung, I actually don't really know what to expect because it can be one of these very one-sided series where Samsung shows up and H2K can't really get it going. We can also see H2K go in and surprise a lot because I think they have a good enough early game led by people like Forgiven, Yankers, Odo Amner to actually get an advantage and make it a very close series.
I like you talk about questions because it felt like a lot about SK Telecom versus ROX Tigers went to script. A lot of the things we thought about this series came true, but there's a lot of questions for both H2K and Samsung. Have H2K fixed any of their late game issues? We're not 100% sure. What does Samsung look like in a best of 5? They've played a 3-0, was very one-sided, but a true best of 5, you know, with Core JJ again, with these rookie members. We don't know what the big lights here of Madison Square Garden holds for Samsung in a best of 5?
It makes it kind of hard to, judge the strengths of these teams because they are on such big win streaks. Both teams haven't dropped a game in so long that we're kind of like, oh, well, yeah, Odoamne, he's been great. Oh, yeah, but Cuvée, he's also been solo killing everybody, right? So, I mean, it kind of, that's part of the reason we're having a difficulty with it. That being said, I think Samsung still is coming in as the favorite team.
It also places a lot of importance on that very first game of the series because having been on these long, win streaks, you're going to have to question how whichever team loses will bounce back in a best of 5, very much the same way that SKT and Bengi was able to claw back in from a 2-1 deficit. Of course, that game, or rather series, occurs tomorrow, but we're going to look ahead to next week's finals real quick, where we're celebrating the title fight over 2 days, and you're invited to join in on the festivities. So tune in next Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific time for a day-long event streamed live on watch.lolesports.com. We'll kick things off with a special live edition of Primetime League, followed by an all-mid, all-star match featuring special guests Boy Boy, Nikki Taylor, DJ Reckful, and more. All chat hosts Jessica Negri and Jimmy Wong lead us through a cosplay showcase before a special daytime edition of Worlds Tonight. Now we'll be joined by Riot musicians and composers backed by members of the Hollywood Chamber Orchestra to cap off the evening with the music of League of Legends Live. And at the end of the night, the countdown to the finals begins with a marathon of the best games in World's history, right up until our pregame coverage of the final fight on Saturday at 2:30 Pacific. Here in New York, though, stick around for another edition of Worlds Tonight featuring Riv, Spawn, and Jap. But that's going to do it for us. So for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow.
I feel like we should make a movie now.
Let's make a movie.